Hello and welcome back to Football Talk, the podcast on Cultured Left Foot's YouTube channel. Bringing the humour. That's what I like to say at you, Josh. I'm here. I like to think I'm here for the intellectual football chat, and you just make it funny. That's probably very harsh.
Intellectual football chat. That's nice. That's real nice.
So obviously it's been a very busy World Cup week since our last podcast. Lots of games have happened and we're down to the final four, and we'll come on to that in just a minute. But as ever, we're going to start with the wiki files. It's Josh's turn to send a player over to me, and let's get on with it. Oh, sorry, the wiki files. Because I still haven't done a jingle.
I've sent you something over, Dave. What do you reckon?
Oh my word.
I didn't know where to pitch this one because last week obviously got stitched up with Paul Rideout. A little bit before my time, I'd say. I was more of a Euro 96 onwards. That's kind of where...
We're the same age. It can't be before your time if I know him.
Yeah, I mean, I know him, but I didn't know him.
Oh, okay.
So I was torn. I was like, do I make it topical with the World Cup? Do I go harsh? And eventually I just panicked and probably done one which is far too easy.
Okay, so I have youth career starting at US Oyonnax and then Montpellier and Lyon. So I'm going to assume French. Well, I don't know where US Oyonnax is, but Montpellier and Lyon at that sort of age in the youth team suggests French. And then he stayed at Lyon for his senior career, 77 appearances. Got a move to Fulham, 172 appearances in 2001 to 2006. Okay, and then got a big move to Tottenham. And then played for Sunderland. Wow, that's quite a long time in the Premiership, actually. Saint Etienne for a year where he played one game. That was dreadful. Maybe an injury. Lyon, back to Lyon for 93 appearances. Then Cannes, I think is how you pronounce that, for 11 appearances. And he's finished his career, I'm guessing. Oh, is that this year? No, yeah, that's got to be that. Well, either way. 3 appearances for MDA Chasselet. Who
ended his career with unpronounceable team names, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Like, it was fine until I saw after Lyon, and then I was really struggling to pronounce them. But Fulham to Tottenham to Sunderland. There can't be that many people that have done that sort of journey. I mean, Yunus Kabul was one I was thinking of, but I can't remember him playing for Fulham.
Oh, Danny Rose has done a Sunderland and Tottenham.
Yeah, but that was the other way around.
Darren Bent's done Sunderland, Tottenham.
Yeah, they're not helping me, Josh. Stop shoving in red herrings. Because they're all the other way around anyway. And they're not French. This player went from Tottenham. Oh, did Darren Bent go from Tottenham to Sunderland? No, you bought him. Oh, yeah, he did. Because you bought him from Charlton. That's right, isn't it?
It's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, Lyon, Fulham, Tottenham, Sunderland. The goals don't scream striker. I'll be honest. 6 goals in 62 appearances sort of suggests to me a goal-scoring centre-back or a holding midfielder for Tottenham. And then 32 goals in 172 games for Fulham is, again, pretty bad if he's an attacking player. I don't know. Nothing's jumping out at me. Nothing's jumping out at me. The first name that jumped out at me was Yunus Kabul. But it's definitely not Yunus Kabul because he didn't play for Fulham.
No. I think he may have come from Auxerre, maybe.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Sure.
Lyon to Fulham. Fulham. French players at Fulham. No, I'm not going to get it off that. I'm not going to get it off that. So I'm going to go with... can I have his position? Oh, bloody hell. Midfielder. Is that all I get? Incredible. Okay.
That's what Wikipedia's given me. That's what I'm giving you.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Wikipedia rules.
You mentioned midfielder, didn't you? But
I did, yeah.
Goal scoring centre backs. Goal scoring centre back, Dave. Come on, that's 32. That Fulham record would be insane for goal scoring centre back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be okay, I guess. That would be very good, actually. Yeah, for a goal scoring centre back.
6.
Well, I don't know. If you look at the Tottenham. 6 goals in 2 seasons. That's for a centre back. That's not bad. That's all right.
Yeah, it's just that Fulham career would be. That Fulham and London career is like, wow. No wonder you're getting your big move because you're scoring some goals.
Okay, a French. Oh well, I'm sticking. I should have gone. Maybe I should have gone. It's got to be French. He has to be French. I've got to stick with French. French midfielder at Fulham. I'm really struggling to think of French central midfield, or no, French midfielders for Fulham.
Well, I'll elaborate on the midfield. He kind of played an attacking midfield role. Could play left, could play right. Quite a tight little player. I enjoyed him. He was
Right.
nice player.
Okay, let's have his. I'll go full hog. Let's have his national appearances. Oh, for God's sake. Is that going to help me? So 2001 to 2002, France under 21, 14 appearances, 4 goals. Who the hell is this? Who on earth is this? I don't think I'm going to get it. Lyon as well. We went back to Lyon and played a lot of games, which would have been in the Champions League for Lyon. Surely.
I've got a vague feeling. You know that stint at Saint Etienne. I think that finished him. I think he retired, and then came back to football after that because he did have injury problems. He was somewhat hampered.
Bloody
Quite a
hell.
short player. I think he must have not been 5'6" according to.
Oh my God. 5'6", French who played for Fulham and Spurs. Which means he obviously played well at Fulham. Why can't I remember this person? I mean, that's a big jump. Fulham to Spurs. I'm going to have to give in, mate. I'm going to get it. No one's coming to my mind. Put me out of my misery.
It's Steve Malbron.
Steve Malbron. It's so obvious now. For God's sake. Yeah, well played.
Any memories of Steve Malbron? If you had to describe Steve Malbron, would it be, I remember a goal he scored or anything that sticks out?
The only thing I can remember from him is I think he scored a hat-trick for Fulham against another London club, and I can't remember if it was Spurs or not. I'm pretty sure he scored a hat-trick, and they were all pretty terrible apart from this hat-trick goal which he curled from the edge of the box, but I cannot remember who it's against. He was a good little skillful player. Steve Malbron.
Tight player, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He was. Well, very good Wikipedia files game again. So, well, you got me back for Paul Rideout, although I probably should have got Steve Malbron.
Honestly, I thought I was going to go, he's going to get this in one. But no.
No, it's...
It shows you never know with Wikipedia files.
You never know with Wikipedia files. And what made this incredibly hard was that one game at Saint Etienne and then coming back and playing 93 games for Lyon. It just doesn't make sense other than an injury. And I could not think of a French midfielder for Fulham, which obviously was the big crux of the issue. So, but yeah.
Well, good game.
Yeah, very good game. Right, we move on. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we are down to the final 4 in the World Cup. But obviously before that, and since the last podcast, there was the round of 16. So, any highlights, Josh, from the round of 16? Anything you want to discuss?
The game I saw was the Belgium-Japan game.
Yeah.
That was... I mean, I found it quite predictable.
Okay. Interesting.
This is obviously hindsight involved here, but when Japan went 2 goals up, I was like, Belgium have been a little bit unlucky so far, not hit the gear, and if they could get 1 goal back now, the momentum would completely swing, and that is exactly what happened. Credit to Roberto Martinez, but on Chadley and Fellaini, and Fellaini like shooting fish in a barrel with that height, and that is it was just...
The Fellaini a sub I could understand. Nasir Chadley, I mean, really?
Always a fan of Nasir Chadley. He's in the mould. He's a winger in the mould of the kind of David Ginola player, where a little bit technically, but more physically. David Ginola was almost like a target man played in the wing, and Nasir Chadley has that big physical presence, and was a nice little player for us, similar to Malbron, kind of the Belgium side of it there, and he was just a nice player. I don't know what happened with his spell at West Brom. I imagine mismanaged by shocking managers, but he can definitely do a job. But yeah, that final goal, I mean, I felt so sorry for Japan, but they showed a little bit of naivety there by committing that many men.
But I think...
Or De Bruyne leading that counter. Lukaku has been... He's impressed
really
me
good
so far.
Yeah. Lukaku's been really good. That dummy, just the presence of mind for him to do that, for Chadley to get that goal was just incredible, to let it go through his legs.
Which is so unlike Lukaku for me.
Yeah, it really is unlike Lukaku. It really, really is unlike Lukaku. So while we're talking about Belgium, they're obviously going to be playing France in the semi-finals. What do you think about France-Argentina in the round of 16? Because for me, it was an absolutely outstanding game. It like Mbappe sort of announced himself. He run the game when they went in. I think it was 1-1 at half time, if I remember rightly, and then Argentina came out and took the lead. I don't know. I had a lot of beer that night because it was such an intoxicating game to watch. It was just end to end, and then France just stepped it up a gear. Pogba was amazing in centre midfield.
Yeah, so it was 1-1 half time, and was it Mercado scored just after half time, and then there's the right back goal. Pavard versus Nacho. Who do you go for? Pavard's goal or Nacho's goal? Which one's better for you?
The technique for Pavard is just the way he's cut across the ball and got that spin on it, and it went in off the inside of the post and rolled into the side netting. It was beautiful. That goal for me.
Yeah, definitely. And the view behind it, where you can see it all in action. The ball spinning, it's like, oh yes.
Yeah. That's a good first question for the comments. I'd say, who had the better goal, Nacho or Pavard? It'll be interesting to see what the majority of people say. But yeah, I think France against Argentina that was the sort of game where they announced themselves as a force to be reckoned with. And I think, Deschamps didn't mess it up with subs and stuff. He actually made good substitutions at the right times. And then there's this thing with Olivier Giroud, 380 minutes at the World Cup, and he hasn't had a shot on target.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That's a fun fact for you. There you go. Yeah,
it is a fun fact. So he's kind of done the same with Chelsea. It's kind of like it seems like both sides they're missing something about him on the side, and he brings better play from other players, doesn't he? He's that Emil Heskey character.
But it's what you need when you've got someone like Griezmann and Mbappe around you. You don't if the striker has enough presence about him to hold up and win flick-ons at the right time and do things like that, you will expect the other people to score the goals. Yeah,
not everybody can score goals. Not everybody needs to score all goals. So some people need to contribute.
Exactly, absolutely, exactly. So who else have we got to talk about from the round of 16? Really, are we just going to focus on the 4 that are now in the semi-final? It seems like the sensible thing to do. I guess.
Sweden, Switzerland, it was a ball fest. Spain, Russia was a little bit intriguing due to the result.
Yeah, Spain, Russia was. Actually, there's another thing for you. Have you seen the whole when it came down to penalties? Diego Costa telling Fernando Hierro that Koke was going to miss his penalty and he shouldn't take one.
I saw him going like, "I told you so," something like that, was it?
Yeah. So even like when they're going through the picking the 5, and Hierro went to Koke and said, "Do you want one?" And he said yes. Diego Costa leans into Hierro and says he's going to miss. Apparently, is what a Spanish lip reader has come out and said.
I've seen that.
And then when he missed, he looked down the touchline to Hierro and was like, "I told you so," which is really bad.
It's bad. Yeah. What was notable about the round 16 for me was, and I bet FIFA were like, the fact that Messi and Ronaldo both went out on one day, wasn't it? That Saturday the 30th.
Yeah.
It was like, Messi's gone, Ronaldo's gone. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, there's a lot of marketing issues gone there with FIFA, with those two players going out. But I think Sweden, Switzerland, as you said, was a bit of a bore fest. I think we could all see that being nicked by a goal rather than being one of the like an Argentina France goal fest, as it were. But and then you had. Denmark played.
Croatia went through on penalties.
Yeah, very true. Again, an interesting result. I was expecting Croatia to win that quite easily.
Yeah, Croatia haven't really hit the heights that they kind of set in the group, have they? In the group stage, especially against Argentina, it's like, oh yeah, they are playing around nicely. Now they've had 2 on penalties, 120 minutes of football in a few days, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, against.
Maybe you aren't quite.
Yeah, it's like 2 penalty wins against teams that aren't really very good. Like, no disrespect to Denmark and Russia, but as I said, I expected Croatia to win relatively easily.
Sometimes they've had to come back into the game, haven't they? They've both gone. They went down to. There's 2 early goals, isn't it, with Croatia Denmark, and then they went down. Oh, Cheryshev again. Cheryshev is just.
What a strike! That home advantage he's getting weekly in his arm is really helping. But no, it's been. Yeah, I think Croatia have flattered to deceive, if that's a good way to describe it. But they can turn it on at any time, really. So. Yeah, and then England, Colombia, penalties, touch and go.
It was, and I thought we played pretty well. I was reasonably impressed. It kind of got worse as the match went on, but key to concede a goal at the last minute. That Pickford save was the whole instance was like, oh my, he's had a shot. Oh my god, he's going top goal. Oh my god, he's a save. It's like, holy Moses, that was just
the replay of when he dives with his left hand and then realises he's not going to reach it, so he reaches. It's like in that split second, it's like incredible goalkeeping, and then they scored from the corner anyway.
Yeah, for a moment afterwards, I was like, did you need to make that save? Why did you make it? Looked like it was going to, because the bend on the ball was, I was like, oh, I think it's going to go wide. But now in hindsight, I'm like, it would have taught us a lot less about the side, and it would have been a lot less positive for the whole country had we just won 1-0. Winning on penalties and coming back from that is exactly what we needed. And
it's just a big, it's an emotional thing, isn't it? It's the monkey off the back with the penalties. It's the, Gareth Southgate came out and was like, this is the unity of the team. It shows good character. It shows everything we need to progress in this tournament. And Colombia played like absolute shithouses, excuse my French, but yeah, just kicking people, stopping the flow of the play every single time they could.
Get my head around it. Like, normally sides do that when they're maybe a goal down with 30 minutes to go, or maybe a goal up with 30 minutes to go. They want to waste time, or they're frustrated. They did it straight from the off. First half, they were shithouses, and I was like, what's going on? Falcao? I've never seen him like it. He was just absolutely. He was just like, they felt like they were wrong straight away. Maybe it was like they felt we were up against it with James out. I don't know, but they were just awful that first 45 minutes. He was like, and the referee, when he didn't send Barrios off for that head.
Oh yeah,
headbutt, I think
got that all wrong. Yeah, totally. I think both teams realised at that point when it wasn't when he didn't send Barrios off for the headbutt. I think both teams realised that both teams can get away with a few things here, because we didn't get to Colombia's level for shithousery, but we did start doing some,
doesn't there?
Fouls.
Yeah, Jordan Henderson, John Stones, a little head flick, a little foot drag. It was we got taken down to that level a little bit, but I mean, there's also instances with the penalty, and Carlos Sanchez just didn't get out of the box. Like, I'm not sure I've seen a man stay in the box for so long arguing. You've already been booked.
Yeah.
For me, there's a clip going around a while back around this African referee who kind of used his red card like a gun in a holster and was like kind of going, yeah, watch out, guys. And he just needed to do something like that. He needed to go, right, don't get out, I'm booking you. And literally just start cracking on with the bookings, because that would soon get people. There's no argument, because ultimately you've wronged. It's not like he's booking people for no reason. It was just he needed to stamp his authority, and he didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think if he had sent off Barrios for a headbutt with the red card, just, went as soon as he did it, or as soon as VAR told him it was a headbutt or head movement or whatever they're calling it, then that stamps down on the game. That was a red card. He's not playing anymore. That's what we're going to go with. And it was just like, he missed a big opportunity to sort out, stamp his authority like a referee should on the game.
Just align the match.
Yeah, just like a side tangent, and it's actually a question for you or a member in the listeners or whatever. How are the referees selected for a tournament? Do you know?
No, I don't, but I know that we haven't got a representative, and it blew my mind that, because I thought maybe Michael Oliver should be represented for England. It's like, if you've got referees from, say, Saudi Arabia or something like that, it's like, you honestly think they're at a better standard than someone in the Premier League who manages big matches and will referee in the Champions League. It's just, I couldn't understand it, because I mean, we criticise almost all refs, don't we?
Yeah.
There's a few which escape criticism and have notably good games, but often if they have a good game and go unnoticed, you don't praise them. You only criticise them when they do something wrong. And so, I'm not sure of the selection criteria, but I thought it was harsh that England didn't get any representatives there.
Because the other thing that I found very odd about it is, obviously we discussed it last week with VAR, and the Premier League is a league or has competitions in English football which is already using VAR, so they've had experience of it. So I don't understand.
Go a bit tick in your on your CV, a little go. Oh yeah, VAR experience. Yes, you can come along.
Yeah, but, exactly. No. I mean, like, so a couple of the people I'm friends with on Twitter and I talked to on Twitter were saying, like, that ref in the MLS, the guy who was refereeing England Colombia, he's even known in the MLS to be not the best referee. So that's why I was just interested. So if anyone does know, anyone listening out there who knows how referees are selected for big tournaments, please let us know, because you'll be enlightening both Josh and I by the sounds of it. So that'd be very interesting to know.
It'd be amazing if they had our own qualification. teams qualifying yet. Referee qualification, you have to go through certain exams and
That would be
drawing
absolutely.
it up
That would be brilliant.
against
Yeah.
a fresh referee. Oh no, yeah.
Okay. So well, I think that's the 4 remaining teams in the round of 16. Anything else in the round of 16 that you really want to talk about, or jumped out at you, or impressed, or not impressed?
No, that's pretty covered my thoughts so far.
Okay, so we'll
We
move
step into the quarters.
the quarterfinals. Yeah, you know where it gets serious. It gets very serious in the quarterfinals. So, France, Uruguay first. That was the first quarterfinal, if my memory serves me right.
It was, yeah, and it was a formality again, wasn't it? Really?
It was, yeah. It was just. I mean, Uruguay looked a completely different unit without Cavani. I never rated Cavani as a he's not a world class striker, but I've never rated Cavani as one of the next level down where people always said he was. But seeing Uruguay with and without him it showed how much of a gulf there is between Cavani and anyone else they had. I mean, they picked Stuani.
Stuani, yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah.
And the only thing I remember about Stuani is he scored one absolutely amazing goal for Middlesbrough, and then I never heard of him ever again. And I mean, Suarez looked isolated. Stuani didn't really look as if he knew how the team wanted him to play and what his job was. The one thing I will say about Uruguay is that as the tournament's progressed, I think their centre midfielders have been really good, and one of them's now apparently going to be moving to Arsenal, which will be great for Arsenal because he's the sort of dirty, tackling, hard-holding central midfielder that I think they need. Is it Bentancur or the other guy, Torre Mariso or something? But Uruguay just looked, they looked toothless. As soon as France scored, it was just like, that's going to be it. That's going to be game, set, match. And I couldn't see any way Uruguay getting back into the game once France took the lead. So it was, like you say, a formality, really.
And France, I think that Argentina match was good for them. It kind of gave them that bit of belief, and I think they got the players, and as well as their opponents in the next round now. But that'll be a very interesting match, France-Belgium.
Incredible. It'll be absolutely incredible, France. I mean, it's one of those you'd expect, like France should be Belgium with the likes of Vertonghen and Alderweireld or whoever they pick at centre back should be able to cope with Giroud, but will they be able to cope with the runs of Griezmann and Mbappe and Dembele if he comes on? And at the other end of the pitch, it's like Willem Titi and Varane be able to deal with Lukaku and De Bruyne and Hazard and those people running at them. It's just in my mind, if this was like Football Manager or FIFA or PES or something, you would say this could be 6-all, 6-5. Like, I think I hope there's goals. I hope it's going to be that attacking and that entertaining. But yeah, I don't know. France v Belgium is going to be. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
That leads us on to the Belgium-Brazil match, and that was a really good performance by Belgium. And up until the final third, it was. Obviously, they scored their goals. There's an own goal, Fernandinho, unlucky, and then De Bruyne, a lovely goal. But they went under the cosh for Brazil, but they just broke out so well. Lukaku just had the game plan of Miranda down the flanks in the end. And fair to him, he defended well against it, but he just knew what he was doing. And Hazard, again, I think Hazard attempted and completed 10 dribbles. He was on fire. But again, it was that final ball, finding someone to get that third goal was just missing. And I was impressed.
Like when you say like Lukaku running the channels, it was whether it's very clever from Martinez tactical or just intelligent football from Lukaku running to the channels, took Miranda out the way, big massive hole for Hazard, De Bruyne, Dries Mertens, and I think Belgium played it tactically very well. Would you say they were lucky that Brazil didn't trouble them a bit more?
Yeah, but Brazil had a few chances. It really did, and. I mean, but that goal that Brazil scored, it didn't even seem to be on, to be honest with you. The pass was just inch perfect, cracking header. It was a lovely goal. We'll think what could have been if they'd had a fit Neymar, a fit and informed Neymar.
Yeah,
because he really didn't.
He didn't light it up like he probably should have done. But I think I didn't know what it would have taken for Bobby Firmino. Now, I'm not Bobby Firmino's biggest fan, obviously being a Liverpool player, but it was quite clear that system didn't suit Gabriel Jesus. Like, I've never seen him look so poor as I have at this World Cup, Gabriel Jesus. I picked him as my Golden Boot winner, so that's egg on my face.
Yeah, and I find him a very one-dimensional player, a bit similar to Aguero. They can't really link up the play. They can maybe beat a man to get a shot away, but they're not an all-round forward. Whereas Bobby Firmino is very, very good. He can link it all together. He can win in the air. He can play through balls. He's a lot more all-round player than Jesus.
Yeah, but the main thing, even from a Brazilian point of view, is that yes, he's that all-round player, but he'll do so much more work than like Jesus and the other strikers they had at their disposal, which would free Neymar up to just be attacking. Like I do think that is like maybe not so much in the Brazil-Belgium game, but in previous Brazil games, it's probably the most I've seen Neymar try and defend. I'm not saying he actually defended, but he was tracking back, whether it was coming deep to get the ball, or whether it was, I don't know, he just felt, he always has this burden of a nation on him. But I thought if you just put Firmino in there for one game, and Firmino runs his head off and just frees Neymar up to get the ball and go and attack like at the defence and stuff and run at them and not worry or be concerned with the defending, that it would just change Brazil completely. But I don't know, Tite just didn't really fancy Firmino by the looks of things.
I don't think he did. I think he was almost forced his hand with the season that Firmino had, but he was in there, and I don't think he had a very set system. I mean, there's very few changes to that side, was there? I mean,
yeah,
it's been typical of most teams so far. There's been very few changes, but no, they did not shift from that starting 11. He was set in his ways, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was, and I think it was obviously, well, again with hindsight, much to their detriment. It's, they're out. So
they're out.
They're absolutely out. Brazil. It's incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So we'll leave obviously England for last. So Croatia beating Russia on penalties.
Beating Russia on penalties. We mentioned it earlier. It's not been what we hoped. What kind of the promise really. They've got good players around the pitch, but now they've scraped through twice on penalties against lesser sides. They're pretty settled side. A few injuries being picked up now.
Well, yeah, they were walking wounded, weren't they, at the end of the game against Russia? They had players going down all sorts. They had Mandzukic getting injured. They had, was it the left back, I think, got injured as well, Stranzic, or whatever his name is. He picked up a little knock. They had 4 players go down with cramp in extra time. It was just, I mean, it's as an Englishman, it's obviously music to my ears to hear myself say it. Like now that I've heard it back to myself. But I mean, within 5 days they've played 240 minutes and penalties. That's a lot of toll on the body, isn't it? In the heat and under that pressure.
It's only 30 minutes more than England.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
But I think there's mental fatigue as well. But it's just that you have, because we have obviously accomplished a win in normal time, a comfortable win. Yeah. Croatia might be thinking, can we do that? I mean, we're struggling through penalties both times. It's that I can't take it again. It's kind of like they haven't had that release yet, have they? They've gone 2 knockout rounds, 2 lots of penalties. Like, God Almighty, it's
very true.
Get a bit on top.
But on the flip side of that, they have been behind in both those games and then come back and got to penalties and won the game. So on the flip side of it, if England score first, Croatia really shouldn't be worried. They'll be like, well, we've been in this position, we know we're going to score. I think from Croatia's point of view, the concern will be if England score, let's say England score a relatively early goal in the first half and it gets to half time and Croatia haven't equalised. Because against Russia, they equalised within about 4 minutes, I think it was, when they got the equaliser.
They held the lead, yeah. Yeah,
and then Denmark, they conceded first and then got the equaliser quite close, I think, to it after Denmark scored.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, it was a few minutes, yeah.
So I think if England can go ahead, and we're slipping into England chat already, but if England can go ahead and not then concede very quickly after, that's when Croatia will panic. I mean, they've got talented players. They've got, Perisic, Modric, Brozovic, who's the guy that plays next to Modric, who we're waxing lyrical about last time, whose name escapes me.
Rakitic.
So they've got the players to do it. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be a very interesting game. And something else that I was thinking about with Croatia is, what must Luka Modric think about taking penalties? Because he's now missed 2, is it, at the tournament? Missed 1 in normal time against Denmark to win it in extra time. And then did he miss his penalty yesterday in the shootout? Or did he score it? I think he missed it. I mean, the game was on at 2 o'clock in the morning for me over here, so it was very hazy.
I don't know. Often it's funny. Some players, you you think, oh, they'll be cracking it. But just not. It's like to look at like Messi's penalty record. It's just like what's your issue here? Clearly, you've got the mental ability because you've reached the top of the game. Your technical ability's there.
Yeah.
What goes wrong? It's very odd, isn't it?
Obviously that's where the psychology comes into it. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I think the best way to sum it up is what you said earlier about Croatia, is that group game where they smashed Argentina. Everyone suddenly thought, this is Croatia. They're going to be, we're talking like 98 territory Croatia with Davor Suker and all those sorts of players, and they just haven't. They've sort of trudged through the rest of the competition. Don't get me wrong, it's a sign of champions, isn't it, to not play well and still qualify, but to not beat Russia. Okay, they get the backing of the home fans, which could make it harder in the atmosphere, but yeah, Denmark on penalties. I mean, I don't know. They've not impressed me since the group stage, Croatia.
It bodes quite well, doesn't it?
Well, I'm trying not to sound too confident and too cocky, but it's hard when you look at previous. Well, all you can go on is previous games, and we've been a lot more comfortable. Even though we only beat Colombia on penalties, we've been a lot more. It looks like we've been a lot more comfortable than Croatia since the pressure's been turned up a bit.
Some, like a lot of the players would have faced each other, so obviously there's a fair few familiar places in the Croatia side for the England players, be it in the Premier League or at Champions League level. So I think that always helps, that you kind of know your opponent, because you don't then underestimate them or freeze because you're giving them too much credit. So
yeah.
I think that helps. And yeah, we've been a lot more impressive than I thought, to be honest with you. And it leads nicely. I think we might as well start talking about.
Yeah, let's just crack on to England. Yeah, I think it's incredible. There has been this whole, like, I want to say aroma, but that's not, like, it's sort of like an atmosphere around the squad, in the fact that they've shaken off this fear that every other England squad seemed to have, and as soon as it got to a knockout game, and it was sort of like, I don't know, it's a very weird thing to experience as an English fan.
Well, what my kind of take on it is that you started the tournament with a lot of pressure because of the circumstance. You had a manager who didn't want the job and had no real pedigree as a manager, so expectations low. You had a very young side who didn't really have much major tournament experience, so there's no kind of baggage that goes with it, and so you find yourself with kind of hopes teetering on the kind of lower to medium, but expectation, I think, is, well, it's nice to see a young side and playing decent football, and we'll go where we go. The challenge for me will be the next tournament on.
Yeah,
we've reached a semi-final now. All tired now, going, we reached semi-finals every time now, and it's just, and the final last time, let's do it again. And the pressure now. This is a kind of one-off situation, so really make the most of it, because pressure's going to be back on.
Yeah, it depends how this whole, like you say, this whole tournament is witnessed. I think you get a lot of people that fall in and out of love with the England team, and you get a lot of people, I think you said it last time, you get like the plastic fans that are like, oh yeah, but it's only Panama. Yeah, but we remember playing Algeria and drawing 0-0. And I think it's going to be, you sort of want the football intelligista, if you can say that, like that know what the previous England teams have gone through, to sort of rein it in and be like, okay, yeah, we've got to the semis, or we've got to the final, or we finished third, or whatever, and be like, let's take this into consideration and say it was a one-off. Let's go into the next tournament, the Euros or the next World Cup or whatever, and be like, what would be successful? Okay, quarterfinals would be successful. This World Cup, before we came into it, I was like, if we get out the group playing good football, that's all I want. I just want to see improvements. I just want to see something to show that English football as a national game is moving in the right direction, which has happened. So I've put my hands up, and I'll say, if we had lost to Sweden, I still would have said it was a successful World Cup. If we lose to Croatia, I'm going to definitely say it's a successful World Cup. If we come fourth on a third and fourth playoff, it's been a successful World Cup, purely because of the football we've played.
And I completely agree. It's funny. I always think it's funny how the nation supported versus how a club supported. So there's always a World Cup. You're not going to win it. What's the point? It's like, but before an FA Cup campaign, you go, oh, well, Tottenham are going to win it. Let's bomb out in the third round. They're not going to win it. There's no point. It's like you never get that.
That's
And
very true.
even like also like the year Wigan won the FA Cup. They won it. They go next year. Got to win it again. Before we go, got to win it again. It's like they never happens. It's like let's appreciate the win and move on. It's completely different between club and national fans. It's just,
That's very true. Yeah. I wonder how many Leicester fans are now like actually thinking about that and thinking, oh yeah, that year that we won the Premier League, no one expected us to win it again the next year. Like, and if they're now if they're an English fan, yeah, that's a very interesting thought process actually to go through it like that. I'd never really thought about club football compared to national football, and I guess it's a very good, interesting question. I mean, because whatever happens now, England. We'll get onto the Sweden game in just a sec, but whatever happens, England have 2 more games at this World Cup. They've got Croatia, and then they've got either the final or the 3rd and 4th place playoff. So the worst England can do is technically come 4th at a World Cup, which is incredible. But what do the listeners, and Josh, I'll ask you a direct question as well, what do you think, let's say England finish, we lose to Croatia and we lose to Belgium or France in the 3rd and 4th playoffs, next World Cup, or the Euros, because that's the next major competition, what would you deem as a success at the Euros? If it's this crop of players again that go there.
I would say, similar to how it's been here, you go good footballing performances with good style of play, and again, I'd like to see continued on youth and relying on how people perform throughout the season. That's the starting point. Playing good football, I think you'd see us in the kind of top 10 clubs, countries in the world, narrow it down for a year. I think quarterfinals again. I think consistently until there's a real step change, because we're not. World Cup, we are not the best team in the world. We've won the World Cup. Spain are a better side than us. Germany are a better side. They perform worse in this small snapshot of games, but we are not better than them. If you had a league season with all that, we would not finish top of the league against these countries because we are not as good as them. But on the day, we perform better than them. So we should not expect to win. We should not split through the top 4. Quarterfinals for me is standard.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I can agree with that. I think I'd say quarterfinals in the next Euros is what I'd expect. Semi-finals would be a real big bonus in the Euros. I think it's really good. It'd be interesting to know, the listeners out there, what do you guys think? I know we have a couple of people that comment on most of the videos and leave their thoughts, and it's really good to interact with you guys. So let us know what you think would be good for, on the premise that England finish 4th in this World Cup. What do you think would be a good achievement at the Euros? But I think now has come to the time. Let's talk about England-Sweden. And how you thought it would play out and how it actually did play out, and then what you felt afterwards. So what did you think before the game kicked off? What did you think would happen with England-Sweden?
I haven't watched too much Sweden. I watched bits and parts, and before matches, like everyone's going, "Oh, they are so defensively solid. They are going to be really hard to break down." I was like, "Oh God, it's going to be one of these really kind of tense, boring matches, and it's going to be like 1-0, maybe like a Harry Kane, dodgy flick at some point."
Yeah.
I mean, when it actually played out, it turns out that it was a little bit cagey for the first kind of 20-25 minutes, and then it's like, oh, scored a goal. I mean, it's like, I think for me, Sweden must have abandoned game plan and went, "Oh, we've got to go for this," because when they attacked, they did all right. They got a few chances, but they were nowhere near this defensively solid side that they'd been promised to be. They were gaps all over the place. And do you know what? I was really impressed with Raheem Sterling.
I was going to bring up Raheem Sterling later, but we'll talk about it now because you brought it up. His movement is phenomenal. I can't understand why all these people are calling for him to be dropped. Okay, his finishing and his last ball isn't as good as what you'd want it to be, but his movement to release space for other players to go into is absolutely incredible.
The fact that he's running beyond, yesterday he was running beyond the defence time and time again, that gives them something to be concerned about. That means they drop off and want to have to try to run, which gives them the space in front of the back four where we can then play. If he wasn't doing that, the space would have probably been back to their game plan, really tight and nothing to play with. So by him doing that allows us to play better football. And he was incredibly unlucky. I mean, first touch was great. One time he went to go around the keeper. Keeper made a fantastic stop going around him. I mean, sometimes you think, oh, if only you could have played them, but with how he's played, and he gets absolutely slated. It's not fair. He is
because like I read a very good article. I think it was on Football 365, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But I read a very good article about Raheem Sterling and how he's playing, and they ended it with a very simple. They ended it with a paragraph that I'll try and summarise in a sentence, and it was basically Gareth Southgate knows what system he wants to play, and he's sticking with Raheem Sterling. There's a reason why he's not picking Rashford, because he probably doesn't fit that system. And I was like, that's like makes so much sense when you think of it like that. Like you say, Sterling has obviously been the amount of time Sterling has played like beyond Harry Kane, but to be that man that makes the runs and scare the defences and worry the defence about his pace getting in behind, and it allows other people to do it. It's like Jesse Lingard. He didn't have the best of games yesterday against Sweden, but his work ethic and what he does off the ball and his interchanges with Dele Alli and his interchanges with Raheem Sterling and occasionally with Jordan Henderson allows the team to perform as it has done. And that's all, like I said before, like that's all I wanted from this tournament really, is to see England progress and play good football and have a system and an understanding, rather than just, oh crap, it was 0-0, let's get Andy Carroll on and just lump it up to him.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll back you up on that. I didn't mind Jesse Lingard. I always thought he was quite a decent little player. Is anyone else out there, before Jesse Lingard burst on the scene, did anyone else think he was Scandinavian? Is it just me?
You thought Jesse Lingard was Scandinavian?
Yeah, because he had a loan back at Birmingham maybe back in the day, something like that, and I thought he was a Scandinavian.
Derby. Went to Derby on loan.
And I thought, oh god, that's a Scandinavian lad from Man United. And obviously now I clearly don't think that, but yeah, I wonder if anybody else thought he was Scandinavian. But
I'll reply for the nation. No, I don't think anybody else have thought Jesse Lingard was Scandinavian. That is one of the most outrageous things I think I've ever heard.
Honestly, I thought he was Swedish. I thought it was, Swedish.
What? You could see him fitting into that Swedish team. He would have been like a standout different person, like skin colour, ethnicity, height, hair colour.
I'd seen his name at this point, alright, his name, and I thought, alright. So what is it? It was the goalkeeper. It was like Anders Lingard, isn't there as well? Isn't there a Danish maybe? Anders
Danish. Yeah. Josh King was a Norwegian. But yeah, okay, that's
Jesse Lingard. Back to Jesse Lingard, the England player.
Not the rogue Swede. Yeah,
not rogue Swede. His work rate is amazing, because I read a stat after the Colombia game. Well, Jesse Lingard covered over 15k in that 120 minutes.
Wow, which
is just phenomenal. Yeah, and then watching him after seeing that, watching him in Sweden, I was like, yep, he is all over shop. Fantastic. That's why Jose Mourinho loves him, because it's like, you're putting in a shift. But then also a side point that Jordan Pickford covered over 7.5 kilometres in.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
7.5 kilometres.
It's just like, what? What are you doing?
That is insane. Like, yeah, what? 7.5 kilometres for Jordan I don't get that. Yeah. I reckon the Stato man fell asleep on Jordan Pickford's like button. Like, had a little snooze and was like, oh crap. Yeah, we'll just say that he's moved that much. Yeah, that's fine. 7.5k. That's, well, very impressive. And it's obviously, I was going to say, he's not tiring himself out, is he, with the saves he made, so.
I've been impressed with Jordan Pickford. I think we must have mentioned in the previous podcast that we wanted him to start. I was a fan of his distribution and thought he had a good balls, but he's been really good so far.
He's been very good. He's been very authoritarian at the back. I've never felt like the defence don't know what he's doing. And as a centre back, that is what I want from a goalkeeper. I want a goalkeeper to be, whether I think it's the right decision or the wrong decision, he knows what he's doing and I know what he's going to do. And that's fine.
And there's nothing flash really. It's just just a textbook. He'll kick it long. And he doesn't play silly ball short. The saves he makes a textbook.
I don't know about that. He played a couple of times. He did a short goal kick to Kyle Walker that really wasn't on, because they were pressing us high from goal kicks to make him kick it long. And he gave a couple of them to Kyle Walker on the edge of the box. But I think that's more. It's him sticking to the tactics.
Giving it to Kyle Walker.
Or giving it to Kyle Walker. Yeah, but. I've been very impressed, like you, with Jordan Pickford. I think he's sort of been the goalkeeper we're crying out for after Joe Hart. Because, don't get me wrong, I think there's been a couple of times Jordan Pickford's got a bit too excited. Like a couple of times yesterday, he threw the ball straight over Ashley Young's head when trying to launch a quick counter attack.
He was
that'll come with. Yeah, I think that'll come with age. He's only 24, maybe even younger, and I think he's put it this way, it looks great for Everton, doesn't it, next year? So
we've mentioned Jordan Pickford. He played for Sunderland.
Yeah.
So Danny Rose had a stint on loan at Sunderland. Yeah. Jordan Henderson was at Sunderland. Yeah. Seb Larsson yesterday, Sunderland. New players, isn't there?
Yeah. Grankvist came on loan to someone or played for someone in the Premier League. That wasn't Sunderland, I don't think.
Wigan.
I'll tell you what. Oliver Toivonen. Can you remember him? Sweden up front last night. Had a loan at Sunderland for a year.
Januzaj, loan at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Simon Mignolet is a Sunderland player.
Yeah, Mignolet. Bloody hell.
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck. Well, yeah, but has he even played at the World Cup so far? Did he play against Belgium in the B team B team international?
Yeah. So, should get a B cap for that.
yeah. So anyway, but so Jordan Pickford has impressed us both, which is really good. I mean, obviously, talking about the Sweden game, Harry Maguire, what a header! It was
what a header! And do you know what the concern for me is, though? That we'll get to the end of this World Cup and we've won it. Great, well done, England. We've won it.
You're a bit more cheerful than that. Bloody hell!
Me too. But it will leave a little bit of a sour taste if we've done this via
set pieces.
Via set pieces and VAR penalties. Would it not?
Would it? It's very English. It's what I find weird about it is that everyone, when you're comparing England to Spanish technical ability, we're always told, well, England just picked the big lads that are physical and stuff like that. And it's sort of like, now we're actually scoring goals like that. You would think all the other nations would be like, oh yeah, that's right. England are really good from set pieces. They got physical people that can head the ball. So I'm surprised. If we win the World Cup, I don't care how we do it. If we do it with Raheem Sterling putting one in off his arse, I don't care. But from a set piece, obviously, because it wouldn't never happen from open play. But I just think, I don't care. We're playing to our strengths. We've got 3 really good people that like headerers of the ball.
Yeah, big headerers.
Like in John Stones, Harry Maguire, and Harry Kane, you've got 3 people that, if that ball is dinked up from a corner or lofted in as a corner and it's not near the goalkeeper, I wouldn't want to be a defender marking it. To see Harry Maguire, Harry McCain, I nearly said, Harry Maguire with his massive forehead charging towards you, no thanks.
Vardy calls him Slabhead.
Slabhead. Wonderful. So good old Slabhead. So he scored a good goal, but I predicted in my predictor league that I'm in, I predicted a 3-0 England win, and I said it's going to be so comfortable because Sweden, like you said before, they've been this, we were told they were this very good defensive unit, and the games that I'd seen previously that Sweden had been in, they were a massively good defensive unit when people cross the ball, because they've got Grankvist and they've got Lindelof who can head the ball, which is really clever from Southgate, because what he did is he got the players to go to the byline, cut it back, and then try and work the ball into the box. And if that didn't work, it was a work back for like Dele Alli's goal. We actually got to the byline, cut it back to Jesse Lingard, who then stopped the ball and set it up like a free kick, and then dinked it into the back post for Dele Alli to head it in. And I was like, it was such clever instructions, I think, from Southgate to be like, we don't have to just whip these balls in, because Kieran Trippier has been amazing at it this World Cup. Get to the byline, whip a really good ball in that hopefully will get a set piece off, or Harry Kane will put in, or someone will get on there on a rebound. And I think it was very good tactical play to say, still attack down the byline, get them as deep as they can go, so they open space for the midfielders when we do the little cut back to Jesse Lingard or Dele Alli or whoever. And I thought it was really good. And I thought, I didn't know Southgate or the team would be that tactically astute, but I was confident that we would be able to outplay them, because they're not very good.
I mean, you do have to look at it. You have to go man for man. There's nothing here, and you've got to think. they might have a good system, but you're better than them. Believe you're better than them, and we've got a good system as well. It's not like they're tactically immense. We've got good tacticians as well. Let's just focus the fact we are better. Believe in yourself, and it will come. I just want to touch on the fact we've saying how good we are from set pieces. I mean, it's a far cry from Harry Kane on corners and being shocking at the.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd forgotten about that. Thanks for reminding me. I'd forgotten that Harry Kane was taking corners under Woy. Yeah.
I think you better watch out for next year because Kieran Trippier doesn't take corners for Spurs, so he will be on them.
Who takes them? Christian Eriksen. So Christian Eriksen take them for Spurs.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned for Spurs actually because we have a lot of players in the semi-finals, and so we're not be able to get rested. I'm a little bit concerned about the start of our season. It's not.
Yeah. Just as a slight tangent, talking about the start of the season. Are you going on to the Premier League now? Are you surprised how many clubs haven't done transfers according to the transfer window shuts before the Premier League starts this year?
I thought there would have been a lot more deals before the Premier League, before World Cup started.
Yeah,
and also during, because a lot of players that Spurs have been linked with aren't playing at the World Cup. I mean, yes, they'll be on holiday, but it'd be nice to get them day one pre-season back and ready. But no, it's been a bit.
I totally agree. I mean, again, this is a tangent for what we wanted to talk about, but Arsenal, I think their transfer business isn't as good as people think it is, but they've done it early, and a lot of people haven't. A lot of people seem to be thinking, when the World Cup's finished, then we'll focus on doing transfers. But there's a month, maybe just over a month between the World Cup ending, or 2 months, I don't know the dates, between the World Cup ending and the Premier League starting. And when the Premier League starts, that's the end of the transfer window. 1 month, exactly, One month to try and get all your transfer dealings done. It's tough. Maybe all the clubs are just happy with who they've got. I don't know. That's never going to happen.
Some transfers slightly. It's not confirmed yet, but it seems like the big deal of summer's going to be Ronaldo Juventus, doesn't it?
88 million. 88 million English pounds, or I should say, because it's 100. I think it's dead on 100 euros. I think. Interesting. I think it's. From what I've heard and read and seen and stuff like that, it's at the moment it's literally just down to his image rights money and salary, I think, from Juventus, and they're trying to figure out a way that it's more bonus related because of his age. But it sounds like it's all gonna happen, and then free up a lot of money for Juventus to go and buy. I don't know, Neymar. So
I don't know. I mean, because I think we touched on this, but Mbappe hasn't yet been signed by PSG, and but also. I think Eden Hazard's showing. They love signing the big player of a tournament. Eden Hazard's having a good tournament so far. Could see him maybe.
That is interesting. Yeah,
getting some interest.
It could be Eden Hazard. Yeah, it could well be Eden Hazard. That is very true. But anyway, back to the joyful World Cup that we're witnessing, and England playing some good football. And I thought as soon as we went 1-0 up with Slabhead's header, I just thought it was quite comfortable. I don't think Sweden changed their game plan when it went to 1-0. It seemed to be 2-0 and or at least half time. Get into half time 1-0 down, and then they came out and attacked us straight away. Obviously, Jordan Pickford made that fantastic save from the guy who had the shot. I'm not going to pretend like I remember. Was it Berg? Oh yeah, still hasn't scored.
Berg had that header at his near post.
Oh yeah, and he got down to his left, and then they had. Then we made it 2-0, didn't we? I think we went up at the end. We made it 2-0 before they then had the other save from Jordan Pickford, where Sweden did what was easily the best passage of football in the whole game, with a ball up to the right, cut in field, and then a little back flick to Forsberg, I think it was, who had a shot. And Jordan Pickford made a really good save down to his right. But
Henderson block, it was. I mean, it would have taken it to within one goal of us, so it would have been a little bit more tense. But it was really. I mean, it was a good save. It wasn't a great save. It was well within reach. But
yeah, true, very true. It's just
it was a lovely move, but
it was too comfortable for England. It was like, and I don't mean as in like it was too comfortable. It was too comfortable as an England fan. I was never worried. I was never like sitting on the edge of my seat. Butt clenched and worried like I was, when we were playing Iceland.
Fleet afterwards, I was like, we've won, we're in semis. It didn't feel as though we'd earned it. It felt like, okay.
Yeah,
I'd much rather have gone the kind of the tense I might much rather the tension of the Colombia match to make me feel more alive. Maybe it's because I'd done a skydive in the morning and nothing can compare. But I felt somewhat kind of like lackluster after that result. I thought, oh, okay.
Skydiving has taken that want of energy out of your body.
Maybe
that football used to have.
Football again.
But congratulations on your skydive as well. By the way, that's very impressive. I've never jumped out of a plane, and I don't think I ever want to. But we'll see.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, everyone that's done it has told me that I should do it. So maybe one day. But yeah, I think it was a very odd. Like I watched it in a pub over here in Singapore. It was very good. It was a packed pub. The atmosphere was amazing. Both the goals were cheered, like really good, jumping out of the seats, and then yeah, full time happened, and it was a very British round of applause. There was no like, yeah, it's coming home. Like it was just a bit underwhelming.
When my eldest son went to play football in the garden, and gardens down, someone was blasting out 3 lions. I was like, oh yes, this is lovely.
Nice. That is good. The problem we've got here in Singapore is that we'd won the game and then it was midnight, so you can't go onto the street tooting your horn singing 3 lions because you'll get arrested. So
yeah, and people are like, what's he doing?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking expats, get out of my country. That's the sort of thing.
Yeah.
But actually, they wouldn't swear because that's an arrestable offence as well. So,
right.
But yeah, it's but it was just far too comfortable from what I'm used to. But don't get me wrong. I don't that Colombia game. I don't want that was too tense. I couldn't do that again 2 games in a row. Like Croatia fans, if there's any listening, no, thank you. 2 penalties in a row, no.
You're saying their players might be tired. Their fans are knackered.
Yeah, exactly. So, so very quickly then, because we are slowly running out of time. The semi-finals, France v Belgium. Who's your pick?
Oh, that is going to be that's me. Oh, I don't know. I was about to say that's going to be the best match, but I'm looking at it thinking, Croatia England has the potential to be a very good match as well. France Belgium, I think it's going to be a ding dong affair. That's going to be a real attacking prowess. They've got the best attackers.
That's what I hope. Yeah, I hope it's a ding dong goal fest, and it's amazing.
Well, I'll be slightly disappointed if France go on to win this World Cup because it feels like it's been the year of the underdog with all the big sides going out. Apart from France is still one of the big sides. So if they win it would feel like I've won a few tournaments in my lifetime. Yeah,
but I think France have. If any of the big teams that I wanted to win it, that was when the competition started, it was France. I didn't want Germany to win it. I didn't want Brazil to win it. I didn't want Argentina to win it. It's sort of like, I'd be happy if France won it. They've got players that I like. I don't like the manager, but they've got players that I like. They play with an attacking. Well, they try to play with an attacking verve, and I think they'll have too much for Belgium. I think they will, honestly.
I'm going to go with Belgium, and I think Belgium would do it. I think, yeah.
90 minutes? A 90-minute job, or?
No, I think it's been an extra time jobby, but not. Have we seen an extra time but not a penalty yet?
No. All extra time games have gone to penalties.
We're going to see an extra time bad boy, and it's going to be so sad that Mr. Dembele doesn't get any game time for Belgium because I don't like Axel Witsel. So I'm going to go for this is a wild bet. This is going to be a Mr. Dembele extra time.
Oh my god.
Tronka.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
Mate. Yep.
I think if England were to get through to the final, I'd rather play Belgium because I think Belgium v England is a lot more pressure on both teams. Neither have been there before, like recent times. And it's, that the game I want is England-Belgium, but I think France will beat Belgium, and I think it will be 90 minutes, and I think it will be not convincing, but I think it'll be safe. I'm going to go like 3-1 France. They'll get a goal ahead, and then Belgium will attack. They'll get a second on the counter-attack. Belgium will pull one back, and then France will go down the other end. And that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I've laid out the game plan. No need to watch the game. I've just described it. France are winning.
You mean Mr. Dembele's goal of attack?
Yeah. And then obviously the other one, England, the mighty England, with the Scandinavian Jesse Lingard in centre midfield against Croatia.
So I don't know if I can call this, Dave. I don't know what to think. My mind's all a bit of a muddle with this one because heart and head are both saying England.
Yeah. I'm calling England to win it. I think England will win it, and I think we'll win it in 90 minutes as well. It's just, previous tournaments we've always been terrible and played with fear. We've sort of covered that, and that's one of the monkeys that you could argue is off our back. We've got a young team playing with freedom. We've won a penalty shootout in a World Cup for the first time since God knows, well, the first time ever, I think, in a World Cup, which is a monkey off our back. We've got through to the semi-finals after a convincing quarter-final win against Sweden. Okay, they're not the best team, but it's another monkey off our back for how well the team have played. And beating Colombia as well. This game against Croatia, it is revenge for the Wally and the Brolly. It's just there. It's another thing to tick off and be like, Croatia are a bit of a bogey team whenever we've played them. We're going to do it. In 90 minutes, we're going to see England in a World Cup final.
Goodness, and then it's all to play for. You're in the final. It is just one match. It doesn't have to be the best side, worst side. We've seen lots of bad teams win finals, and if we get to the World Cup final, shit the bed. Oh my God!
Do you think if England win it, do you think like the nations such as Argentina, Brazil, Germany, France, those sort of nations, do you think they'll be like, oh man, that's another Greece? Do you think it's that unexpected that it's another Greece?
We might be another Greece, mate.
I think we could,
especially the way we've done it.
I know. That's what I was thinking of. But I mean, are we both saying England are going to win it? Not win it. Are going to get to the final?
I think we are.
It's
coming.
It's coming home.
With, oh God! From a selfish point of view, with Spurs players, apart from Croatia, if anyone else other than Croatia wins it, that'll be some good kind of experience for our Spurs players.
Yeah,
you got Lloris at France, you got Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Dembele at Belgium. You got all the England boys, so that'll be really good for them. And it's also a little bit of a, I don't know if you saw beforehand, Tony Adams.
I try and ignore what Tony Adams says, but yeah.
Well, he's worried about England because they've got too many Spurs players, so they might bottle it. Something to that effect.
Oh, what a knobhead.
Because we haven't bottled in every past tournament when there haven't been a majority of Spurs players, when you were in the side as well, so I don't know what you're on about, man.
Yeah, bloody
this bar is good.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think, we've got two confident England fans here. Comments, you've got to let us know, viewers, listeners, whatever you want to call yourselves, what is going to be this who's going to be playing each other in the final and who's going to be the eventual winner. And I guess we could do, Josh, if we think England are going to make the final, you think Belgium, I think France, so who's in your side of the draw? Croatia v France, who's finishing third, who's finishing fourth?
France would beat Croatia.
Yeah, so I'd go Belgium will beat Croatia, and Croatia will finish fourth, Belgium will finish third. France second, England first. I've called it. It's coming home. I've got to stop saying that. I've woken up every day and then said to my wife, it's coming home.
And
I'm not even at home. I live in Asia.
All the stuff that's going around my head is just like, because say Georgia flying all around us, and just different lines from a place. I'm like, oh my God.
But I think it shows
the heroes dressed in grey. No, stop it, Josh.
That's what keeps going around in my head. That line there. But I did have my wife was singing it in the shower, so even she believes.
Nice. Final point. I think it's good news for personal awards for Harry Kane to be top goal scorer. Now has exactly the same amount of game time as Lukaku, or say Griezmann or Mbappe to get the Golden Boot, but 2 goals ahead from Lukaku. So I think he stands a good chance.
Very true. Yeah, very good chance for Sir Harry Kane to get the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and also at the end of the tournament, can we have an update on your stat of what percentage he's scored in the World Cup of England's total goals, or whatever it is?
Can do, yeah.
I love that stat. It was really good. It was really, really good. Any other things you want to end on just before we go to your fun fact to see us out?
I think we just jinxed our England side, so we're just going to get absolutely smashed by Croatia now. So
hey, excellent. All right then, so we'll end it there. And it's time for, as I just said, Josh's fun football fact of the day. So, Josh, take it away.
This is linked to the World Cup, and we've seen 4 penalty shootouts so far. And the country that's taken the first penalty kick in the shootout of each of those has gone on to lose the penalty shootout.
Really? In this World Cup?
So Spain, Russia. I think Iniesta took the first kick and Spain went out. Yeah. We had Denmark, Croatia, where Christian Eriksen took the first penalty, and Denmark went out.
Yeah.
Colombia, England, Falcao took the first penalty, and Colombia went out. And then Russia, Croatia also ended up in Russia's favour. Croatia's favour, sorry.
Yeah. Very interesting. I wonder if Southgate will have his knowledge on that and probably telling people to go second. But yeah, interesting. That is very, very, very interesting fun fact. I really like that one.
For Gareth, who's listening, just make sure we go second, please, Gareth, if we have to go for a penalty shootout.
Exactly. He does tune in. He told me. He texted me the other day. He was like, "Oh, I love the podcast, Dave. P.S. It's coming home." But anyway, I think we'll leave it there. It's been, again, love it, Josh. I love the fact that we can chat football with each other this far across the globe and get other people involved as well. So yeah, it's good. Remember to leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think for the final and the semi-finals. Who's going to win? Who's going to win the whole tournament? What do you guys think? And by the time we come back to do our next podcast, we will know who has won the World Cup, and that really excites me.
Makes me very nervous, Dave.
Yeah, it's a nervous excitement, but it's I just love it. I am going to miss daily football as well. That's why it's no longer daily, but I'm going to miss the amount of football you have in such a short space of time. But I think what we'll do is we'll end it there. So Josh, if you can say farewell and goodbye.
Farewell and goodbye.
Thank you very much, and we will chat to you very, very soon. But for now, Josh and I are both out of here. Take care.